Hear the men from old St. Thomas, we got the strength to never yield. We'll fight and fight for our Tom Eagle as we march on down the field. Our motto is to win with glory, 'cause that's the way we're taught to play. Do or die for old St. Thomas, fighting eagles all the way. Hey!
St. Thomas High School was riding high as it came into the 1930s. Purchase of the land at Shepherd Drive and Memorial Drive had made headlines, and Father O'Rourke was eager to build. So too was Houston. The city's skyline stretched ever upward, even amid the stock market crash of 1929. But the Great Depression that gripped the rest of the nation would eventually find its way to the Bayou City and St. Thomas. By 1932, tuition was reduced or waived for many of the 194 students now crammed into the school at Austin and Hadley Streets. 2 years later, parents would be asked to pay whatever they could afford.
There's a real paradox in the 30s at St. Thomas. The school is continuing to grow in enrollment, but money isn't necessarily coming in. And the Basilian Fathers are adamant in their mission not to turn away students. That speaks volumes about their commitment to Catholic education.
The mission of the Basilian Fathers was paramount, imparting goodness, discipline, and knowledge on its students. And the school would work diligently through the Depression to ensure as many students as possible could be served, a commitment that still echoes through St. Thomas today. But it was clear something needed to be done. In 1936, as the city began emerging from the Depression, St. Thomas, now headed by Principal Father John Olone, made fundraising central to its operations. The idea was to bring in funds that would expand the new school on Memorial Drive. Something else happened instead.
The St. Thomas Athletic Board meets in 1937 and decides it's going to build a football field on the memorial property. And because the land is now being used as an athletic facility, the school gets to use it tax-free, which saves $1,000 a year.
Father Alnock and his father, along with Father Nye, spearheaded these efforts. Having a dedicated space for football made sense. The school's athletic star had been rising since its founding, but during the 1930s, the St. Thomas teams would rack up wins and milestones like playing their first night game. These points of pride helped shine a spotlight on the school and would echo through the ages.
1939 was really the last undefeated team that we had here, and somehow people knew that and remembered that. That tells you about these concentric circles of community that get built over time. I think the other thing that they learned from athletics is grit, an opportunity to pick yourself up after you've fallen down, an opportunity to recover after a tough loss and come back and still offer the same sort of effort and attention to detail that'll allow you to recover from that and even grow from those experiences.
The grit was widely recognized as St. Thomas characteristic, although Houston media outlets would refer to the lads of St. Thomas as scrappy. They would need to be, because as the 1940s dawned on the horizon, St. Thomas was about to enter a whole new era. In 1938, local businessman George W. Strake had pledged $75,000, provided St. Thomas raised a matching amount. Strake promised an additional $50,000 once the funds were fully raised. The school broke ground on the Memorial Drive location on January 8, 1940, and the cornerstone was laid on March 24th.
A name change for the school had to be approved by the Basilian General Council, and that was an immediate need since they wanted to carve that name into the stone above the windows. They decided to call the new school St. Thomas High School, since it best described the scope of coursework. That also meant that when the Basilians eventually built a college in Houston, there wouldn't be any confusion between it and the high school. The name change became official in May of 1940.
A name change, a location change, and a reputation for generosity and grit. These would be essential elements for the challenges St. Thomas would face in the coming decade.